Yo, what's good, guys? It's Beach. We are going to go over our different types of first touches. I got a list of 20 first touches, and they're going to be in order from easiest to hardest. I'll have timestamps down in the description below, so you guys can skip ahead, go back if you want to. With that said, before we get straight to it, coaching with the heart, if you want to join the coaching giveaway down in the comments, like the video, and then join the Discord. I announced the winners in the Discord. With that said, if you want to guarantee yourself coaching, there's also a section in my Discord for that. Yeah, let's get straight to it. So first touches, let's talk about the concept, even though we have a full video on it. There's a couple of things you want to do when you take a first touch, and the first thing you want to do is scan for the defenders / opponents. You want to scan for the defense, scan for where your opponents are at and where they can't get to, because for a good first touch needs to be away from the defense / the opponents. If you don't scan for the opponents, you don't know where they're at, so your first touch isn't a guaranteed good first touch. And the second thing you want to do is make it easy for your second touch. Okay. Hey, Beach from editing here. Just a really quick thing I didn't really talk about that I would love to skim over really fast. While you're trying to improve, while you're trying to learn new things, if you make mistakes, ask yourself why that mistake happens. Kind of have more of a problem solving mentality. It really helps. You guys will see me doing that later in the video, and it really helped me figure out how to do some of the more complicated first touches. So if you're struggling with something, ask yourself why and problem solve. All right, enjoy the video. Alright, let's get straight into these first touches. We got a list of 20, so we're going to go into this pretty quickly here. I will break down how to do them into drills, and then I will also talk about kind of when they're practical, when you want to use them in a game. But yeah, I highly recommend practicing these. These are all stuff you can work on in free play, and then when you get to a game, you're a little bit more comfortable with them. I see a lot of people, again, neglect first touches and just work on this right here every single time, rather than how we get to that first touch, okay? First touch. The first touch that we're going to do is going to be a touch ahead and do a catch. And this is what I see a lot of players do. Not that. They'll do this right here. And the bad part about this, and I'll do it one more time. That's actually a really good first touch. The bad part about this right here is maybe it's away from the defense, right? Maybe the opponents are back. Maybe one of them just handed you that ball off of a clear. Now the issue is it's not easy for your second touch at all. If you pop it up high like this, it's not easy for you to get back to, right? You can either jump and aerial it, which is not the intention when we're trying to catch it. So you'll just have to wait for it, right? So what you want to do is as the ball is coming towards you, right before it hits the ground, you'll want to hit it forward and then boost after it a little bit. But don't do this. This is what I see a lot of players do. They'll get a good first touch and then they'll do this. So we want to get a good first touch ahead of us. And if we can't get it before the bounce, we let it bounce, and then you can put it on your car. Meanwhile, I'm moving forward this entire time, which makes it a really good first touch, because that means I get to keep momentum, right? Or you can catch it before it bounces if you'd like to do so as well. Now, you can also practice these off sidewalls, and this is going to be a little bit more practical in a game, or in terms of practice. That's a really bad one. Sorry. These are a bit more practical, though, to practice in the sense that this is most likely what's going to happen in a game. And you just touch it ahead and catch. You're not going to just have the ball flying perfectly to you in a game all the time like this. I highly recommend just hitting it into the sidewall, going around, letting it bounce once if you want to, and then touch it ahead and then gain control of it quickly, right? Let your mechanics really shine. And if you want to try to master this, try to catch it before it bounces. And then you can let it bounce after if you can't get back under it and do whatever you want to out of it. That is going to be the first touch. Now the second first touch that we're going to go over is going to be a touch to the side into a catch. So when we use these is if the defender's like flying after the ball or trying to pre-jump you, you'll just pop it to the side nice and light, and then you can catch. Super simple. We'll do that again. And the same principle, you want to keep it low to the ground. So you want to keep it low to the ground, because if it goes up high like that, it's not easy for your second touch, even if the defender can't get to it. So we'll hit it off to the side. If I want to hit it left, I go to the right side. And again, you can let it bounce. Let it bounce. Stay under control, right? The worst thing that you can do here is this, and then just start boosting full speed and being like, oh my god, my attack's over, right? It's about first touches. I'll hit it off to the side. Let it bounce twice maybe, and then we can do something out of it. Again, these are really practical when a defender's just flying straight towards you, or maybe they're like chasing the ball down, right? They clear it in a straight line like this, and they're just following it like this distance behind it, okay? You can practice these with the pass button. You can also do these the same exact way. I really like practicing it off the sidewall as well. You can let it bounce, and then we can cut it, and then get under it, right? Or the alternative is the exact same thing over here. And these are fun to practice too, where you take it out wide more so, and then bring it in. And again, you go to the opposite side of the ball that you want to cut it towards. So we go here, and then we pull out wide. Perfect. You still obviously want to hit it somewhere towards the net. They're towards their net. You just hit it wider on the ball. Both are very practical catches. Those are pretty much all the catches you will be doing as you climb through the ranks. Again, I see even GCs mess this up consistently. So I'd highly recommend working on these in free play. Again, you can just hit the ball and be like, okay, how can I control this quickly? Maybe I have to hit it forward, and then I'm in a dribble, right? And you can say, well, what if the opponent dives you? Well, if it's here, you just jump and 50 it, right? Obviously, that was a bad example, but that's exactly what you want to do. Number 3 is going to be off the wall into an air dribble. And then number 4 is going to be off the wall into a ceiling shot. And number 5 is going to be off the wall into a reset. You're going to do these the exact same way. Your takeoff is just going to be different. So what you want to do is, I kind of like to use backwards mod buttons just to make my life easy. So we'll set it here. And what you're going to want to do is you will want to get it as close as you can to the ceiling while getting it also halfway to the opponent's net. And you can just practice this. Get it close to the ceiling. I would say that's a pretty good first touch. And one more time. Now we'll chase it down. And how we're going to chase it down for a simple air dribble is you just jump off the wall with the same momentum, and you'll be right behind it for a nice and simple air dribble. It should be really easy to get control if you get a good first touch. Right? If you lob it up nice and easy, it should just be very, very simple to follow. I'll do that one more time. Lob it up close to the ceiling, get under it, push it a little bit, and a goal. Simple, simple, simple. What could I have done better on that one? Get it closer to the ceiling, right? You want to get it as close as you can to the ceiling. And that is a very good first touch that I can do pretty much anything I want to with. Cool. Now, what you're going to do with the ceiling shot is you're going to try to get it as close as you can to the ceiling while getting it around the ball. So halfway to their opponent's goal, close as you can to the ceiling. I like to tap my brakes before I jump to make sure I'm not just going to like slam the ball up the wall, right? So I go here, tap, make sure I'm behind the ball, and then I can do whatever I want to. You see how easy that ball is to follow? I could do whatever I want to, really. And we'll do that one more time. It's just so simple to follow on the simple fact that it's a good first touch, right? I could give if I gave a plat player this right here, they could probably score it, right? If we freeze frame it right there for a plat, they could score it if they wanted to, right? Nice, nice, nice and simple. That's how you'll make it really easy. And then as for the reset, it's going to be kind of the same thing as the ceiling shot in terms of hit your brakes to make sure you create space between you and the ball. But instead of boosting up to the ceiling, boost to the ball, and then last second hit it with your tires. I see a lot of players do this. And unfortunately, your car and the ball have the exact same weight. So what we're going to do here, get it as close as we can to the ceiling, boost towards it. Not a good first touch. Why? Because it wasn't halfway to the opponent's goal. And you can do whatever you want to out of it, and you can even mess it up. Same thing. One more time. That's a really good first touch, right? It was as close as we wanted it to the... it was as close as we could get it to the ceiling, and it was also halfway to the opponent's goal. And you can just practice different distances, right? Obviously, the farther away from their opponent's goal you are, the more power you're gonna have to hit it. Versus if I go like mid here and take it, obviously I won't want to hit it as hard as I did last time or as far as I did. Nice and simple. Okay, that's gonna be 3, 4, and 5. Nice, nice and simple. So now what we're going to go over is going to be off the opponent's corner wall. I didn't really talk about practicality in terms of all of these wall plays. There's, how do I say this? I go for a reset if nobody's in the air or if somebody's in the air. You can do a lot of these. I would just say if I see somebody pre-jumping early, I will probably go for an air dribble so I can pop it over their head. Right, and you can change the direction a bit better. I go for a ceiling shot if nobody's up at all and there's like one defender back. It's really, really simple. Because if nobody's back, they're not going to challenge you that early. And then a reset if I can't get to the ceiling, if I don't feel comfortable going to the ceiling. Or if I see somebody that's going to pre-jump me, you can usually fake them out if you like hit it up. And then like fake, get a reset, and it looks like you're going to hit the ball. Those are all really, really versatile and interchangeable. Off the wall, off the opponent's corner wall. So this is going to be this. And it actually follows the exact same principle. You want to hit it where it gets halfway to the opponent's goal over here, and as close as you can to the ceiling. And you can do all three of those things. You can do an air dribble, so let's do that first. Simple, right? Nice and easy. I'll do it one more time. Maybe add some arrows in. And that wasn't the best first touch because it wasn't halfway to the opponent's goal. It was more out. Nice and simple. Okay. Now what we'll do is we will do a ceiling shot. Same thing. We just want a good first touch. As close as we can to the ceiling, halfway to the goal. And again, if you give a plat player the controller, as soon as they get the first touch, it should be pretty easy. And the last one is going to be a reset. These are a little bit tougher. If you're very mechanical, a lot of players will go for resets here. It's completely up to you what you want to do. When do you go for these? I like to go for these if they're racing to the corner boost against you. It's going to be scenario, kind of a more rare scenario. And if nobody is backboard on the other team, then these are really, really good shots to go for. Again, as close as you can to the ceiling without hitting the ceiling, obviously, and halfway to the opponent's goal. Oops. But yeah, very, very simple. Again, if nobody's backboard, you can go for these. You can just hit it to their corner. Nobody's backboard. Let's say they're sitting in net with 0. However, in higher ranks, you'll notice that people will just meet you on the backboard, unfortunately. So this can be pretty tough to play. You have to be really creative to get it by the person that goes backboard if you go up there. Okay. On to the next one. We're kind of flying through these. If you guys have any questions, please put them down in the comments. We're flying through these because I already did this video and I know how to be a little bit more efficient with my words and explanation. Anyway, number 7 is going to be ground to air dribble while the ball is rolling towards the player. So how you set these up is you can use this button. I don't love this because the ball's not really going that fast, right? It's kind of hard to pop this up. So what I actually personally do, and it's going to be kind of a weird one, put the ball on top of your car like this. And what you're going to do, you're going to hit it towards the opposite goal like this. And then you'll race in front of it, turn, and then pop, and do that. And what makes this really practical is that's going to be the scenario in games a lot. You'll be rotating back, and then you'll have to turn, pop, and go straight up. So let's kind of break down what we're looking for and what we want to do. When we pop this, there's a difference between hitting it forward with full speed, because a lot of players will do this. They'll just hit it, right? Let's say we put it here. This is what a lot of players will do, and this is what their air dribbles look like off the ground. That was actually not the touch I wanted at all. That was actually not a terrible first touch. They'll just do this. They'll full speed into it like this, and it makes it really hard for them to catch up. And I'll do that one more time. We'll even do it here. They'll just hit it like this, and then their air dribbles look like this in game. They'll just be full boosting. So we want to chip it. How do we chip it? By not going fast and just barely tapping boost at the last second is what I like to do. Okay, that was a mess up. And you want to be squared on with the ball to where the opponent's goal is going to be. Okay. Squared on to the opponent's goal. Boom. Maybe that's a little sideways. And then with your second touch, because a lot of people don't know how to get this second touch consistent, you want to be under the ball. You want to make sure when you double jump, you're under the ball, not behind the ball, because you want the height. I didn't double jump. Sorry, I'm looking like an ape. So behind, and then double jump under, so we get the height to keep it up. And it makes it super, super easy. It's almost like a wall air dribble. And wall air dribbles are really simple because it gives you the height, right? Again, just roll it, and then turn around, chip, and then double jump. And I was too behind that one, so it makes it really tough, right? And that's just something to work on. Square up to the opponent's goal when you hit it, and sometimes you'll mess up. That's fine. And you can even half volley it with the bounce, and we'll go over these bounces later. What did I do wrong? I wasn't square to the opponent's goal. Again, these are something I don't necessarily work on much, just because you don't get these opportunities much in game. And they're also very simple. In lower ranks, they're very actually efficient because a lot of people just clear the ball like this. Exactly. They'll just do this. And if you're sitting in net, it's a free air dribble the other way. One of these practical though, if somebody's like clears the ball like that and chases the ball down, like let's say somebody just clears it and chases it down. If they're like here trying to free jump, you can still try it. I still recommend trying it. You can go up into the air and then you isolate a defender. If somebody's pre-jumping early, don't do it obviously, but you can isolate defenders really easily by doing that with the first touch. If this was a roll, just as an example, or if somebody's like rotating back on the side, they don't get to challenge them because you're up in the air. It's not easy for them to challenge if they're on the side of the ball. Okay. Next one is going to be a ground to air dribble off the top of your car. It's going to be very, very simple. And I like to use the backwards mod button just to get more reps in. I don't really recommend using like training packs and stuff, just because it sets that the way it up, sets it up for you. So how you're going to want to do this is you put it in the direct, you put your car in the direct middle of the ball indicator, okay? Just like this. And this takes a little bit of practice and balancing, obviously, don't get me wrong. And you want to match the speed of the ball with your car, okay? And I have a video on that already. Now, what a lot of people do is they'll do this. And the reason they do this is because they're boosting while being even with the ball. They'll boost forward while double jumping. And they'll be like in front of it and have to do this, right? So we don't want to boost when we double jump. And now it's nice and simple. It's very, very simple if you don't boost and double jump. Right? And if you want to go for extra height, you can also go, what I like to do for extra height is I put the ball, instead of like being directly on top, I let it go a little bit in front of me, and then I double jump and boost, and then it lets you go a little bit higher. But if it's directly on top of you, you can't boost forwards, or else it's just not gonna work. Bad, Nick. Nice and simple. Again, it makes it very difficult if it's directly on top of your car and you just panic boost forwards. Double jump. I was on behind my car. Double jump, then boost. And also on the front of my car. I think I boosted on my takeoff there. Okay, anyway, sorry. I'm zoning out. But yeah, you just back his mod button, double jump, boom, nice and simple. These are practical when you're coming down the line, somebody's shouting you. Let's say you pick up a corner boost and they're gonna get ready to shout at you. Or I love these when somebody's about to challenge you from the side, you can double jump them and then like do whatever you want to, it will bump the defender. If you're really mechy, you can go up high with these and then pass it off the backboard to your teammate. It's completely up to you. I really like these though to just eliminate that first defender again. If they're on the side of you, if they're like ready to challenge you, you can just double jump and you'll get right over them. And then now you have one defender to beat and you can play however you want to. Apparently I can't do anything though mechanical. But directly in the middle, double jump, nice and simple. Again, if it's directly on top of your car, do not boost. If you know what you're doing, you can put a little bit in front and then you can boost. And then you get more of a pop like that. Again, practicality, if somebody's shadowing you, if somebody's about to challenge you from the side, you can usually hop right over them. It's really, really satisfying, and then you isolate the last defender. Super, super simple. If you get a really good first touch, you can get it pretty high. You can go for resets out of it or double taps. Those are really, really complicated though. If you're under GC, you're probably not going to be going for like double taps or anything out of these, but that's completely up to you. Ground to air dribble. And see, even I make mistakes. We all make mistakes. It's just part of the game. I don't love resets off of these, just because it's hard to create that space between you and the ball. I'd rather just air dribble something like that. Simple, simple, simple. All right. Okay, somebody asked me to do this, so we're gonna do it, even though I don't think it's a great one. It's gonna be a backwards half volley. So you're gonna use the back as my button to hit it towards you, and you're gonna back up into the ball. Just like this, and then you'll double jump and arrow and then go. And I don't love these. Wait a minute. Wait, why are we doing this one? Okay, I'm sorry. It's a ground to air dribble off the bounce. We can go over that one. I don't love that though, but it kind of fills the list to make it 20, I think. So we're gonna do ground to air dribble off the bounce. My bad. This will be number 9. Ground to air dribble off the bounce. So what you're gonna want to do for this is, yes, you can use the backwards mod button here, and then half volley and go up. However, what I like to do for these is hit it off the wall like this, lob it up towards the ceiling, come down, and then you take it up off the ground here, because these are going to be more practical bounces in game. And you can do whatever you want to. If you get a really good first touch, you can go for a reset, but you want to hit the ball right towards the opponent's net right after. That was not it. You want to hit it off, right off the... All right, sorry, I'm back. Okay. The next one is going to be number 9. It's going to be ground to air dribble off the bounce. So, let's see. This is going to be a. Let me see really fast. All the air dribble, all the ground. I don't think I talked about full volleys and half volleys. So, can't back. I had to go do something. Okay, so there's 2 different things we can do here. We're gonna go basically into an air dribble off of the bounce. So this one you kind of need the pass button, and you're gonna half volley the ball. So let the ball hit the ground first, and then what you want to do is you want to lob it up and get under it enough where it's really close to the ceiling after your second touch. So a good first touch is here, and then a good second touch will make the entire play super simple, right? And unless you're me. So we want to make sure when we let it hit the ground first, and then we let it pop. Makes it really easy then to do kind of whatever you want to out of it if you just let it hit the ground first. And these you kind of need that was a full volley. You need the back is mod pass button. This is one of the few ones where I'm just like, I don't really know what you could do in terms of like hitting it off the walls and stuff. Let me see. Yeah, it'd be really tough. So yeah, I guess you could do this technically, but I would recommend just the pass button. That's what I like to use, where it kind of lobs the ball. You can kind of do this if you wanted to, but these just are a little hard to time. Yeah, I would just use the pass button, because in games it's gonna mostly happen like that. I'll be honest with you. And then again, you just want to get it close to the ceiling. Same thing as the ones off the wall, and it makes it nice and simple. Nice and simple. Nice and simple. I've been talking all day. Okay, let it hit the ground. And notice how I'm not like full speeding at it. I just tap my boost and tap into the ball lightly. You want to hit it forwards, but you don't want to just clear it, right? I just softly tap my gas. And then we can chase down right after. When are these practical? Anytime you want to do them. These are so good to have, and you'll see them so much in pro play. There's almost no wrong time to do it unless somebody's pre-jumping you. Even with 2 defenders back, you can just do something like this to avoid the first defender. If you go for like a reset early, you'll usually fake them off, and then you can do whatever you want to. You can also do this. Okay, that was a bad example. But there's almost like, oops, really bad first touches, right? There's almost like nothing bad to hum from it. You can go for a reset early. You can hit it up into the ceiling. There's so many choices in this. I don't think it's like really ever a bad option. I was just thinking. I was trying to think if there's a bad choice, but unless somebody's pre-jumping you, it's a good, really good choice. If you can get that half volley. All right. Now what we're gonna go into is going to be a round to air dribble off of the bounce. So how this is gonna go is we're gonna lob it up like this, and what you want to do is you want to hit the ball after it hits the ground. And these can be really tough, but you have to be really careful with these. So let's explain how we do this. First, you just want to lob it off the wall, just tap it and then come down to the ground. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to square up to the opponent's goal, that when I double jump, I am under the ball, right? So let's look at these lights on the ball. Ideally, okay. Ideally, you want to be almost on the bottom light. You see how there's a light on the bottom and there's that little padding? I would go to like the padding right where my lights are. You see where the octane lights are? That's where you kind of want to hit the ball. Okay. And you want to go up into it like this. So what that does is it creates a lob. And I'll demonstrate right here. Pop it up. Square up to the opponent's goal off the bounce. And it makes it nice and simple. These are also incredibly practical. And it's really good to practice these because a lot of players will just do this in a game and miss. And it's really nice to just learn how to take it up here. Obviously that was not a great first touch. But it is really nice to just be able to take it up off the bounce like that rather than having to wait for it, right? These are really good to practice, and if you can start getting these down, you will, I'd almost say you will climb just off the simple fact that you can control it in such hard scenarios. And let's do 3 really good ones. And you can pretty much do anything you want out of these. Right, you can go for a reset if you want to. You can go for a simple air dribble if you would like. Again, very, very simple. The closer you are to the goal, the more you want to hit it straight up, obviously. So since we're pretty close, we'll hit more straight up, and we'll go for a double with our reset and miss. And then if we're a little bit farther back, we'll go here. Lob. And then this one we'll want to hit a little bit farther, but we still want to hit it really high up into the air, so we don't really have to worry about hitting it, again, upwards, right? And you want to be nice and slow. You want to be delicate with your touch. You don't want to be going super fast. A lot of your power is going upwards, not forwards. Notice how I'm barely going up like forwards up the field. It's mostly upwards into the air, not forwards towards their net. And that is how you keep a good second touch. It's making it go up, not forwards. Because if it goes forwards, it's going to be really hard for you to catch up. All right, super, super simple. Next one is going to be a first touch into the backboard for a double tap. And that is going to be something that a lot of people are going to struggle with. So you're going to go the exact same way. Oops. So we're going to roll it up the sidewall. And you're just going to lob it up. Now what you're going to do here is you're going to do the opposite. So you know how we let it bounce and then hit? We're not going to let it bounce. We're going to try to meet it up in the air and hit it towards the backboard. And where you want to hit it towards the backboard, I'm just going to leave it right here. Where you want to hit it towards the backboard is going to be under the crease, obviously. And I say like this, letting this spot intentionally be the lowest point, just so you don't hit the bar and you can't read your double. Okay? And what you're going to have to do is as you're going up to the ball, you're going to aim for that kind of area on the backboard in a spot that you can get back to when you follow it. Now with that said, you also want to boost through your touch. Why? So you can get enough power to hit the backboard and also keep momentum up with your card. So let's demonstrate. Pop. And then we'll go nice and light here. And what we want to do is then double it. Nice and simple, right? Do that again. Pop it up. And again, you want to be squared with the ball so you can get that double, or so you can get that first touch, that solid first touch. I see a lot of players do this. I will demonstrate. What do I see a lot of players do? I'm just going to go close to the backboard because it doesn't matter. They do this. And they're like, yeah, I can't get that double. Or I'll see this. This is really hard to see. They're not squared with the ball, and they'll like hit their tires. And they'll like land upside down. They're like, what's happening? You're not squared with the ball. Be squared with the ball. Boom. First touch. Double jump, square up, and place it beautifully like I did. Sometimes it's just hard being this good. Anyway, boom. And what happened on that last one, I wasn't boosting enough. Simple. Again, you want to boost so it gets more power. That boost is what gets you power, and you want to aim for that backboard. You don't want to aim for the goal. And again, you want to make it easy for your second touch. Now, maybe it was away from the defense. However, that was not an easy touch for my second touch. Why? Because it was outside. It wasn't towards their goal. It wasn't in the line that I could get back to. Simple. Okay? And it looks like I'm super mechanical, right? It looks like, wow, how is he so consistent? It's because I make these first touches really easy. Again, you want to aim for the backboard, but you don't want to aim to the left side of the goal or even above the net. You want to aim to the backboard on your side of the takeoff. So if you take off on the left side or if you take off in the middle, you want to hit it right above the goal, right? Make it easy to get back to. Aim above the goal, obviously not too high. And that's pretty much it. Obviously working on your double taps is a completely different part of the game. But yeah, roll it up. Boost up after it. And you'll sink your doubles if you're not like me. Bummer. Super, super nice. Super simple. Next one is going to be a wall into ground. Oh, I'm sorry. Wall to ground into an air dribble. So here's why this one is so high up on the list. It takes one of the earlier ones before, and it also takes creativity. So when I see a player... Okay, last one also. When do we go for the double taps? I'm sorry. Last one we go for the double taps. It's just when nobody's on backboard. If somebody's sitting in net. You'll see this a lot in like Champ and GC. They'll just be like this. Yeah. You're not going to score this double. And then you double them, and they're like, luck. And then they'll come back and sit here again with like 0 boost, and they'll be like, you're not going to score it. And you just, if you get that good first touch, you can hit it 4 or 5 times on the players. It's really, really simple. Okay, anyway. Next one is going to be a wall into ground into air dribble. So this is nice when players are on the wall. So what it's going to look like is this. And then you come back down. And this is the very simple version of it. What you'll do in higher ranks is this. To fake, you can use like a little bit of boost to make it look like you're gonna go. And then you want to, wow, not do that. You want to make sure you get under the ball, right? Fake, land square behind, and then take it back up for an air dribble. And this is really simple to do if you know how to do the ground to air dribble off that bounce. And what you want to do here is you just want to lob it up, make it look like it's going to air dribble, and then look like you're going to chase it with a little bit of boost, right? The less boost that you use there, the more boost you'll have for your air dribble, which makes it easier. One more time, please. Thank you. And again, this is more up on the list in terms of being a more creative shot, because a lot of players don't think of this. And if you don't have a good first touch, like let's say we take it up the wall and this is what my first touch looks like, just pop it off, jump down, and then double jump. I don't know how to get ready, so I'll do it one more time. But if it's not an easy one, if I'm like here, take it off, jump behind, make it look like you're gonna hit it in the air, and then you can take it up. And again, I have this higher on the list more so in the terms of creativity. A lot of players don't think of this. It's great to have it if it looks like they're gonna pre-jump you, or if it looks like an opponent's gonna go to the backboard. If you're in a 1v1, what this does is, if they're wall or backboard, this makes them want to go, but then they realize you're going low, so they come down, and then you go back up. So as the defender, you're up here, you're like, oh, they're going to do a wall play, and then they're here, and then they're like, well, wait, he's going back up. You make them do like stuff like this, because they're trying to decide. Or if you're on the wall, and they're like, oh, he's going to go for a wall play, and they pre-jump, you just beat them for free. Or if it's a smart defender and they're a little patient, they'll jump down to the ground, and then you'll get a beat because you're going back up into the air as they're coming down. Cool? Super, super simple. And again, I don't need to go over the bounce into air dribble off the ground. Again, this is, you just want to make sure you're off the wall. The closer you are to the crease, the harder it is, because if the ball's like here, it's really hard to like double jump and air dribble. So at least make sure it comes off a little bit, right? Man, that was not a good first touch. And you don't want to hit it too far, by the way. You want to be really soft with this. One more time. These are really good, especially in like the back corner where you can like fake, take low, and you can even come down if you want to just drive. As you get to higher ranks, you'll have to jump off. Just because that driving won't do a whole lot to like fake the defender out, they'll just dive you. All right. Off the backboard. Wow, that voice crack. Off the backboard into an air dribble. I don't have water either. Okay, off the backboard into an air dribble. So what we want to do here is, this is super, super simple to practice. You're gonna roll the ball up the backboard really fast, and then you'll pop it, and then you just chase it down. Here's the thing about these is you want to, that's gonna happen first off. Yeah, sorry, I was doing something. Okay. The tough part about these is that you want to chip it out to where you can get back to it. These are usually used as clears, though. I will be honest. You can take it here, go grab boost, go straight under, pop it off, and then just boost after it, and then just try to stay behind it. If you want to go for resets and flick it over their defenders, that's over your defenders / opponents, that's fine. But this is a tough one because this happens a lot. And we're gonna go over how to go for the ball when it's off the wall later. But the bigger thing about this one is gonna be hit it, and then you can tap your brakes and go. And that's simply because you're gonna be pretty close to the ceiling, and all of your momentum is gonna be going from the blue wall to the orange wall. Since you're not going forwards, most of your power, like you see how that there's power exerted upwards and forwards. For this one, most of your power is just going to be exerted upwards, so you have to be really, really careful just tapping it and then chasing it, right? Because what you don't want to do, and I see a lot of players do, is this right here, and I'm sure you know exactly what I'm about to do. They'll do this, and like they'll hit the ceiling, the ball will hit the ceiling, and then they're like, oh god, right? So you want to make it a really soft touch. I just like to boost lightly into it just to get a little bit of extra power, because it's better to go slower than faster in my opinion. Okay, we'll go up to the wall. That one I had to jump off of. before. And if you want to try to make this a scoring threat, there's a player who's very good at these, and he'll hit dodge. And I didn't dodge, but he'll dodge. His name is Diaz, and I lost him in ranked. Dodge. He'll do one touch and then a reset, and then you're pretty much already at the opponent's net. Do you see that? So yeah, super simple to practice in rank. I highly recommend practicing these, and you can also make it a little bit more like game practical by doing this. Pathing over that corner boost as the ball's going there. Go here to here, and then going there, right? And that really throws off your line. Do you notice how I even got a bad touch? Boom, boom, and then do this. And for these, you just want to stay more behind them because you're going to probably 50 them, like I said. It's more of a clear touch rather than like your scoring threat, unless you're using a dodge. All right, on to the next one. The next one that we're going to go over is going to be a off the corner wall into an air dribble. And this is going to pretty much be the exact same thing. Also, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting. Situations for these is if you're getting pressured, if you're going up here and you're grabbing this boost, and as you're grabbing it, you come back to the ball. Both cases are true. Is if the defense or the opponents are just sitting kind of north to your toward/near your net. If they're all kind of just clumped up right here, it'll be really hard to go through them unless you go over them, right? So you can take it up the backboard, or alternative, you can take it up the corner wall. And this is the same thing. You want to get it nice and light touch, and then you can just kind of start air dribbling it out. Again, you will not be able to score unless you go for a little bit more mechanical boost efficient plays / more mechanical plays. But we'll do the exact same thing. Just roll it. And what I see a lot of players do is they mess up this touch by going like this. They'll attack their net, or they'll attack the sidewall. So what we want to do is when we lob it, we want to lob it towards their net, and then it makes it super simple. You really have to think about how you want to lob it. Okay? I'll do it one more time. And how do we lob it towards their net? We just go directly under it. See how that goes towards their net? If I go to the left side of the ball, it goes towards my net. And if I go to the right side of the ball, it goes too much towards the wall where I can't get around it. So we want to go directly under it. And then that makes it so I can just air dribble it out. Nice and simple. All right. Off the backboard into an air dribble, done. Off the corner wall into an air dribble, done. 15 is going to be air dribble with a bounce off the wall. So these are going to be really tough, but also incredibly practical. I absolutely love practicing these. There's, how do I say this? These are amazing to practice because you can air dribble anything off the wall. Because in a game, it's not always going to be like this. That was actually exactly what we're going to work on. It's not always just rolling up the wall where it's like, oh, this is a really easy touch, right? It's not always going to be like that in a game. So you'll have to work on different things. So how we're going to do this is you start across from the other goal. And then what you'll do is you'll start dribbling. And then you sideswipe the ball. And that pops it off the wall. Do you notice that? Try not to hit the ceiling like that. Hit it a little bit lighter then. Off the wall. And then I have to jump before I hit it. And what's really tough about these is you want to do the exact same thing as a normal off the wall into an air dribble or whatever. Get it as close as you can to the ceiling and get it halfway to the opponent's goal. And you have to jump off the wall before you hit it. And these are really tough. This is going to be something that I just have to say you have to practice. There's nothing else to it. There's no secrets. But doing this makes it really easy to practice by just learning how to do it. Notice how I keep it nice and close to the ceiling and also not super far away from me, right? Off the wall, boom. It makes it easier if you start on the opposite side and then do this. And then sideswipe it. The point of you sideswiping the ball like that is so it bounces. That bounce makes it so it bounces off the wall. Thought I could get that one more time. This is the drill that you'll do to practice it. I practice these a lot in free play, and it helped me a ton in game. Obviously, I'm not really trying to finish my shots, but we'll go for it. When are these practical? When do you think they're practical? All the time, and especially practical. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. They're really practical because this happens a lot in a game where it's like slightly off the wall as a bad first touch. Okay, I'm just gonna go across the field. They're very practical in game because a lot of the times when the ball's going up the wall, it's not just rolling. That is a really lucky roll, to be fair. But that was a really good first touch. So across, put it on top, make it bounce, comes off the wall, and a beautiful first touch. Right, and we'll watch that replay just because it's such a good first touch. Notice how the ball is off the wall. And what I do is I get under it enough where it gets close to the ceiling. I don't slam it away. I just get a nice soft touch, lob it up, and keep chasing it down. Nice and simple. Very practical. Again, if it's slightly off the wall and you only know how to go for it when it's rolling off the wall, it's going to be really challenging to climb. If you want to use any mechanics at all, you can bring it down to the ground and go for a ground to air dribble. Sure, you can catch it, but yeah. A lot of players that I see, even in ranked and GC, I'll see this. Oh, it's off the wall. And then they get dunked. Because that's not a good first touch. And that's a really hard first touch to do, like I said. If it's close to the crease, it's not going to be an easy first touch at all, even if you're trying to catch it, whatever you're trying to do. All right. Let's see next. Pop up the wall into an air dribble. These are incredibly difficult. These are starting to get to things that I'm working on. So how I work on this, and this is what we're talking about here, where it goes up the wall, you're gonna pop it up, go around, you will full vault, oh, it would just be half volley, let it hit the ground first, and then you'll attack like that. These are really tough. So how I practice these though is pop it up off the wall, go around it, double jump, and what you're trying to do with these is you're trying to lob it up to like this area, but you can't let it hit the crease because then the ball will come straight down. Now with that said as well, you have to beat the ball to the wall so you can get a good catch / first touch. Let's go here. And you let the ball hit the ground first. So here, and then you can catch if you want to. Whatever you want to do. You can catch it. You can air dribble it if you're really good. I am struggling to learn how to air dribble off of these. We'll try that. Why not? Usually people air dribble like that is what I've seen. But yeah, this is something to practice too, and this is super practical in game. And you notice how every time I do these drills, it's always a little bit different. It's because I'm setting them up, right? I could actually air dribble that if I didn't panic like an ape. But it's because I'm setting it up myself, and what that creates is variety in terms of the drill. And if I have a variety in terms of the drill that I'm doing, it means I'll be a bit more creative in game. Or not, I wouldn't use the word creative. That was a really bad word choice. I wouldn't use the word creative. I'd use the word more versatile. Since there's more variety, I can do these more rather than just a specific scenario. That is a really good touch. And I missed it. But yeah, so this is something to practice. At this point that you're in this far in the video, it's kind of just trial and error for yourself, because again, these are really tough. And when are these practical? Pretty much anytime you're coming fast paced to the wall, you can slow down just a little bit and pop it up like that. And these are really far off the wall. I'm saying that because we are pretty far off the wall. We're about a quarter of the width across the field. When it's closer to the wall, let's see if I can get this closer. That's better. When it's closer, these are way easier. You can half volley it. I was not meaning to. Let me see, how can I get this closer? Oh, wait. If it's close, if it's like really close to the wall, they're really simple. Right, you can do way more with it if it's close to the wall. Practicing them farther off the wall is like what I've seen high level players do, and that's why I kind of like doing them like that. So it's super close to the wall. And what you want to do is, like I said, you want to lob it as high as you can up. Nice recovery. Good shit, Beach. One more time. One more time. We'll have to continue this video later. I have a coaching session right now. And you want to just pop it up and catch, or air dribble it. Again, that's a lot of trial and error. That's how you set that up though to practice it. I've seen like print training packs for it, but it's, again, a training pack with like 1 or 2 of the same things over and over again. It makes it very situational versus just throwing yourself into it multiple times and like learning how to play out of it. Most of the times when I do this in a game, I will just catch it. I won't like air dribble it, and that's also because I'm not super mechanical. I'll just do this. Something like that, and I snuffed it. But yeah, we have a couple more to go. I'm gonna end this recording here. I'm gonna finish off the recording a little bit after my coaching session, but I'll be back in a minute. Please. All right, the next mechanic we are going to go over is going to be a air dribble from a high wall crease, and these are nightmarish to work on. They're hard to work on, first off, and they're really hard to do. So what happens in a game a lot of the times is the ball will be going super, super fast up the wall, and it'll end right around here, which makes it incredibly hard to air dribble, right? Because you're so close to the ceiling. So what I like to do is you go sideways and turn left and pop. When are these practical? All the time. Did we talk about practicality for pop up the wall on an air dribble? It's if you're coming sideways to the ball and it looks like they might challenge and no one's on the sidewall, you can pop it up, take it up, and go over. Okay. Sorry, I don't think we talked about practicality. It's nice though if the ball's like in front of you and you can like pop it up the wall and then go. Versus having to like catch, slow drive up the wall. And that's usually if somebody's in that area right there, but nobody's on the sidewall. All right, again, next one is going to be the wall, whatever. These are hard to work on. They're hard to do. They're really just difficult. So what I like to do is you push the ball up the wall, and then you'll go right there. And it's not even high enough, to be honest. What you kind of have to do is you have to dodge into it. Really get it up the wall, and then pop like this. And as you can see, it's really hard to keep your height. So dodge into it last second, get it nice and high. You can even come sideways and then go there. And you don't have to, but you should use the dodge as well. I didn't dodge, I was an idiot. Oops. Here we go. And that was more of an off the wall. Again, these are hard to practice and like set up as well as just do. See how I go there, and then a dodge kind of helps you keep it up. But again, they're really, really tough. These are something that I'm also working on. All the last of these are really, again, really tough. And these are all actually stuff I'm working on. You see how quickly you lose that height? As for these, the trick is to, again, get it as close as you can to the ceiling. And you obviously can't get it halfway to the opponent's net. And since you can't really get it that high either, it makes it really tough. Like, that was perfect. That was a perfect shot. And again, it's just that kind of like little 90-degree turn that you do. If we're here, you just go right there. Just kind of like that, and then jump. But again, since you're so close to the ceiling, it's really tough. How I like to do these, again, is you hit like this as hard as you can. Go sideways. You can even practice them without being that close if you still want to just do the same motion. Okay. You can still practice that kind of same motion even lower on the wall. But the only problem is you can keep going up if you want to. So there's like no, there's a lot less room for air if the higher you are up. So I recommend going across the field, even though this is a little tedious. Don't be lazy. I'm being lazy. And that's not bad. Oh, I think you can do this. This is what helped me. Go this way, and then like side swipe the ball. And yeah, that gets it really close. You see how tough that is? That is a really hard first touch. Yeah, so go here, and then side swipe. So you go back behind the ball. Yeah, that's perfect. And that's kind of why you have to dodge to keep the height. Okay. Side swipe meaning like go behind the ball from the side that you're trying to go. Nice little cut. If you do that little like 90-degree cut, it really helps you get like that perfect kind of first touch where you're like right behind that one too. Sorry. And then you obviously have to like boost right after, keep it high. Again, it's really tough. These are all just trial error for things that you guys are gonna have to work on. My tip is to just like C cut it, which I see a lot of players don't do, and then boost right after it. Because you want to keep the elevation as much as you can, which is really tough. That's more off the wall than it was up the crease. Again, very good to practice because in higher ranks, this ball is going to come up there quite frequently. You'd be actually very surprised. I'm not saying it happens every single game at all. It's probably once every like 3 games realistically. So close. Cut up. A reset is a great thing to go for there, or if you can get a dodge under the ball like last second. Did not have a dodge still. Again, you can practice them there too. You can practice them as low as you want to. Like you can even go here. Right, you can even practice them there, but if you hit it up like that at all, there's a lot less room, a lot more room for error if you're not super close to the ceiling. So we'll do it one more time. Again, what I like to do here is you go here, side swipe this way, and then it gets it really high. And the problem was I didn't do the little like, it's not C cut, it's like a 90-degree turn. And again, you want to keep it as close as you can to the ceiling while still hitting it forward. It's really hard because you can't get a lot of power to do anything with it. Really, there's a lot of limitations to this because you're close to the ceiling, so you can't hit it hard, which means you can't get it close to their net. But since you're close to the ceiling, you can't really go upwards either. I've seen a lot of really good players do these touches impressively well. Something to practice. Something maybe to master, I don't know. It's something that like I like practicing. I like to start practicing more complicated first touches just because in a game it's kind of nice to have all of these different first touches. Next one we're going to go over is, again, that's going to be trial and error. When is that good to have? The situation will show you when it happens. It's not something you ever really can really force. You have to kind of just play it yourself. And I see a lot of players just mess it up a ton. I mess it up a ton too. It's tough. It's really tough. And it's also really hard to practice, like I said. Okay, so the next mechanic we're going to go over is going to be a pinch into the wall into an air dribble. This is really nice because it keeps control of the ball. This is a great mechanic to do. I mean, yes, pinches are nice to have, like being able to do this into the opponent's net. Here, I'll actually do it. Being able to do this into the opponent's net is nice at all. However, if they're back, it's not really efficient or effective unless you're hitting a top left, top right. And again, it really hinders your recovery. It's really hard to recover off of these. If nobody's back, great, fine, whatever. That was not placed, sorry. Great, fine, whatever if nobody's back. However, if somebody's back, it doesn't help. And also, again, if you mess this up at all, like I'll mess it up here, like your recovery is kind of doomed. So what we're going to go into is going to be a pinch into the wall into an air dribble. You might have seen some higher level players do this. So if this is kind of the scenario that I go through in my head. If somebody's on the sidewall already and somebody's back and it's rolling towards the wall, right? And we're just here. What I like to do is you want to do this right here. That's not it at all. These are pretty tough. These are something I'm working on, but this right there. These are really, really nice to have in your bag. I hate that saying. Why did I say that? Why did I say that? I don't hate it, but I've never said that. These are really nice to have as a tool that you can use. They're pretty hard to master, and ideally the way this works is even if you don't get the best first touch like I just did there, I got a pretty bad one, you can still play the ball after if you don't just clear it like that. And what we're aiming for here is not a pinch. So what's happening right now is there's a fine line that you want to hit your tires against the ball. You almost want to like belly flop the bottom of the ball, like right where my lights are on the ball again, same thing. And you want to hit it on the right side of the ball. So this side of the ball, and like right where my lights are at, so it pinches is upwards and forwards, okay? And if you hit it with the front of your car, this will happen. you want to hit it with your tires, and it's very difficult to master. And again, that wasn't horrible. You can still kind of follow it up, right? If I'm in a game and I have a teammate behind me, I could still probably do that. And all you're going to do is roll it up the wall, and you're just going to do this. That's a really good first touch. I'm really proud of myself. Again, these are things I've been working on. I'm not really trying to necessarily finish the shots, but I probably could, just for you guys, for your sake. And again, even if it goes really bad, you can chase it down if you so would choose to do. However, again, really, really good to have. Just makes you more versatile. If you can master this first touch, even if it hits the ceiling crease, you can chase it down. Obviously, that one is a little too far. Let me see if I can get into the ceiling crease on purpose. Even if you don't have much momentum either, it just helps you set the ball up for a clear. Again, I'm hitting it with my car. So if you're hitting it with your the car, not your tires, it means you need to lean back more when you do it. We'll do it a couple more times. I like doing the trial and error on these guides for you guys, so you guys can kind of see the things that I struggle with and how you can fix them with me. But yeah, that wasn't horrible. It wasn't great though. Again, I don't have much momentum. That's also a great spot to use it. I can set myself up for a double if I'd want to with that, or a triple because I missed my double. But yeah, if you don't have a whole lot of momentum, these are perfect as well to set up. That means I hit it with my car, not my tires. Try one more time. And again, if you clear it, you can kind of just chase it down. These are really, really tough. Obviously, they're possible to get consistent, just very difficult to. I see a lot of high level players do this really, really well, and I always wonder how they do it so consistently. I think the problem is that I'm just not leaning back enough, is what I'm noticing. You might be clearing it on accident too, it's just probably because you're not clearing, or you're not leaning back far enough. I lean back pretty far there. And then if you go too slow, then it doesn't go far enough up. It's tough. It's really brutal. That was actually really good. Oh, that was like perfect. What did I do? Oh, I wanted to score that so I could watch the replay. You idiot. Not yet. But yeah, something to trial and error on. My like little bit of notes are if you are clearing it too heavily, it's on the simple. I don't know. I can reset. It's on the simple fact that you're just like hitting it with your car. Oh, is that the secret? You hit it with one tire instead of two? Hold on, guys. Again, you don't need much momentum for this. Okay. Oh. I think I figured it out. One tire instead of two? Oh, one tire instead of two. I see. That's it. Okay, so lean back more, and you want to go for one tire. That's actually really interesting. I wonder why. Okay. That was because I used my car, though. See how it's popping up and not, like, just clearing itself out? Even that's not bad. I mean, yes, it's a little bit tougher to chase down. However, that's not terrible. Hold on. So one tire. Yeah, see? Ah. You have to ask yourself why. It's so important to ask yourself why you messed up or why it's not working. Like, why am I stupid like that? Ah. I mean, yes, that wasn't forward enough. So it doesn't make it easy for my second touch, but that's the right idea. I could probably get this in a couple days to like actually be consistent. So if you do this wall, it'd be your like left tire then. Yeah, I see. Okay. I'll practice this once or twice, and then we'll go to the next one. Interesting though. I'm definitely gonna keep the like thought process journey through this though. Again, because these are gonna be for high level players. It's actually really interesting seeing like the breakdown of this. Okay, that is like perfect. That's exactly what you want out of it. We'll do it one more time and then we'll go to the last one. That was really bad, sorry. Okay, I zoned out. That's my fault. I'm just thinking, sorry, my brain's just like, huh, that's interesting. And then if you go in front of the ball, you can go like back towards your net like that. I here, let's try that again. We're gonna go back towards the orange goal here. Yes. So you can even use that like, huh? Let's go towards blue net here then. So you can pick your side too, and since it's a pinch, it's like really unpredictable. Huh. And you don't need much momentum, like I said. Like we can do it from here, right? Yeah. Gotcha. That is something I'd highly recommend learning, because that becomes like unpredictable. If I like look like I'm gonna go here, and then especially if you're close to their goal, it almost like makes it guaranteed threatening. Let's go towards blue here. Yeah, because even if you hit against that ceiling crease, yeah, okay, that's interesting. Huh. I'd highly recommend working on these if you're a bit higher in the ranks. You want to be more mechanical with your first touches like I do. Alright, last one. I'll get this last mechanic. Sorry, I want to get this good. Huh. That's really interesting. Really, really interesting. So the tips that I've learned is don't let it hit the lights on your car, like the front of your car. Let it hit the tire of your car, and it's gonna be one tire. So if we are going up the right wall, use your right tire. Even if you're gonna go back towards your own net, you want to use your right tire. And then if you want to go up the left wall, use the left tire. Interesting. And you just want to hit your tire. You don't want to hit the front of your car. It needs to be your tire, and it needs to be a single tire. That's interesting. And now it's not like clearing itself like before, because before we were having it like slam like a pinch almost. I mean, that was a bit aggressive, but that was the front of my car. Like, look at that touch. That was beautiful. That was really, really nice. Huh, okay. I wasn't really thinking of finishing the shot, but yeah, that's really nice. Okay, last one we're gonna do, I'm sorry, is going to be a first touch with the ball coming towards you in the air. This, you kind of just need a backwards mod button for. I don't know if you need backwards mod itself. I don't know if there's a button that lobs it up like this for you. And this one's really hard to master. You can also, I guess you can also try to do it off of here. Let me see. You can try to air dribble it like this too if you want to. They're really, really tough though. Very, very tough to master. So how this is going to go is either if it's going towards you or if it's in the air. You want to go up to the ball and meet it pretty slowly so you can control it. These are really tough because you want to aerial up. You only have 100 boost, mind you. So you, as the ball's coming to you, or if it's in the air lobbed like that, if you're on console and you can't use backwards mod, I would just do this. Doesn't necessarily matter if it's coming towards you. That was a really bad touch because it hit the ceiling. But you have to go up into the air to meet it, but you don't want to use too much boost where you clear it, you know? Yeah. Okay, and then you can use backwards mod button where it's coming towards you as well. And with this, you have to be just squared to the ball. There's nothing else to say other than you have to be squared on into the ball. And you don't want to boost through the hit necessarily because you don't want the ball to go super far. Because the farther the ball goes away from you, the harder it is to get back to it, right? These are really tough. Again, something to practice in game. I've had some very, very nice shots where they like will clear it and I'll meet it up in the air. And then I'll air dribble it towards their goal. And it's happened like twice. And again, if you don't have that, you can still practice it this way. And this still gets that first touch practice in where it's a soft first touch so you can keep chasing it as an air dribble. I would practice both, to be honest, if you can. If you're on console and you can use this button too, where it makes the ball kind of come at your car quickly, I would highly recommend that. And again, for these, you're trying to lob it up. Same thing, lob it up so you can get back to it easily, and you want to go towards, obviously, the opponent's goal, not your own. Could you use your double jump? I guess you could, technically. But if you're so high in the air, it doesn't really matter because you wouldn't have it. Is that in? I guess these would be technically two different types. I'm thinking, sorry. Two different types of first touches, because this would be like you could use your second jump to hit the ball. If you wanted to, I guess. No, we'll just like classify it as the same one. So what you want to do is you want to go under the ball where you're almost hitting it straight back up. Not exactly straight up, but you want to hit it So it goes almost straight up softly, so you can get back to it. See, that was too hard. And you want to be squared on, hitting it with the front of your car squared on, so it's still a powerful hit, and then you can air dribble out of it. Again, you have to be so efficient with your boost for these, I will be honest. You have to be so efficient, because you're trying to be soft with the first touch and then use the boost to get back to it. Again, as you can see, I'm not going on net, and that's because my first touch isn't really good. And that was on net, but it was so far away from my, it wasn't upwards, it was outwards, so it was really tough for me. More upwards is what we need to focus on, and that was tough. And you can see why these are on the last on the list, because they're really tough to actually do. I would highly recommend like just having fun with this. I wouldn't necessarily take these too seriously unless you're starting to climb, or you just want to be more mechanical. This will definitely unlock a lot of mechanics for you, and you'll become an incredibly threatening mechanical player if you can like even air dribble out of the air like with these touches. Zen I saw a clip of recently, instead of going up and hitting it square with the front of his car, he did a 360, or a 180, I'm sorry, excuse me, a 180, and then pulled back like this. Like, how do I even describe this? He was here, and then did that, and then leaned forward towards his net, so when it hit his car, like, his car absorbed everything, like this. As soon as it hit his car, and it's just absurd. And I mean, there's no way I'm ever going to get that good, and I never want to be that good. I mean, who am I kidding? I would love to be that good, but you get my point. I don't think I'll ever be that good. So what we'll do is we'll use the front of our car instead. And this is how I'd practice these. Hit it up the wall if you don't have backup mod button. If you do have a backup mod button, this is just as good. This one's really tough though, because you'll use so much boost in a game. So I don't know how practical that would be in a game. If it's flying super quickly at you. Definitely something you can work on with boost efficiency though. Huh, let me think about this actually. How can you be boost efficient? That's about 70 there, right? I mean, if you get a reset right out of it, I guess it's kind of efficient with your boost. That's about, that'd be it. I'd be at zeros by the time I get to that ball. I'd be at probably like 15, 20 left. Even then, I'd still be so low. It's because my first touch isn't great, though, to be fair. You want to save your empty jump? I'd be at probably 20, 30 there. Let's try to empty jump into it. Again, very tough. I mean, I don't know. I would rather work on these, to be fair, just because these are a little bit more practical in game. Because there's going to be lobs that you can potentially air dribble if you get a really good first touch. And again, what you're focusing on is hitting it upwards, not forwards. And this is how I'd practice them. Again, you add like a lot of variety if you just hit it up yourself with the wall rather than doing like a training pack. That was a really good first touch. But yeah, last one. Again, these are all things I'm working on, so we're kind of just learning as we go. Alright. Cool. So that's gonna be my first touch guide. I think it's 18, maybe 19, maybe 20, I don't know. I have a list with numbers, but I don't know if I missed one, but I don't think I missed any. However, that's pretty much everything. With that said, these are all something that just kind of unlocks your mechanical capability and lets you be a bit more creative in game. If you've made it this far in the video, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. But with, again, the lesson to take away from this, and the reason I made this video initially, is because nobody really controls the play in even GC, and if you really work on your first touches, it makes it so easy to control the play. And the nice part is, the more control you have, the less control the opponents have. So, but yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions down in the comments. Seriously, thank you so much if you made it this far to the video. It's been a long video, but I think it'll be a very helpful video. Have a good one, guys. Peace.